welcome back to my channel. This is Leo's Nerd Talk, and today we're going to be talking about Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. So let's get into that. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire is the newest Ghostbusters in the Ghostbusters franchise, of course, following up the previous movie, Afterlife, that we got a couple of years back with Spengler's granddaughter, Spengler's daughter, and Paul Rudd as kind of her teacher, now kind of stepdad, and a couple of other friends that kind of joined along the way. I actually had some high hopes for this movie going in. The trailer did capture me. I thought it was going to be a very well done Ghostbusters movie. And I walked in with modest expectations just because, you know, scrolling through the internet, you can't always avoid people's reviews, and people were giving it 2 out of 10s, saying that it was empty and has no heart to it and all this kind of stuff. And I was a little worried walking in, but I went in with modest expectations, didn't go in too down or didn't go in too high, and I thought it was decent. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into my pros. And my initial pro is, while we are back in the New York setting, which I don't necessarily like, I do think it's great that we went in a different approach and kind of a different story where it's not the Ghostbusters trying to convince the city that they are real or whatever it may be. People already believe who they are. They've been working at busting ghosts for a very long time, a couple of years now, and the mayor's trying to take them down just because they cause a lot of damage using their proton packs. So I do like that approach versus the, oh, we completely forgot what you guys did for us a couple of years ago. We don't believe you. We don't believe in ghosts. And then something crazy happens. And, oh, we need the Ghostbusters now. This one was a little bit different in that terms of the story. So I do like that they went a different approach and we weren't watching the same exact movie for like the 4th time already. I also enjoy that they brought the original cast back again. You know, I was hoping they weren't going to just kind of throw them away and use only the new cast, essentially, but they brought the whole cast. I like how they all kind of band together. It was one big final battle fiasco right at the end, using everybody, all their proton packs, like everybody just kind of joined in. It was pretty awesome. Instead of having only the main 4 or the new 4, it was just everybody coming together to destroy this evil. So I do really like that they all came together and joined up and teamed up right at the end. I also thought this movie started off pretty strong. You know, the beginning half of the movie is actually pretty entertaining, pretty fast paced. You know, you have this first opening scene, them chasing this kind of blue dragon looking thing, and it kind of ramps up towards the beginning. I'll go a little more into pacing in the cons, but I do think it started off pretty strong and it ended off pretty strong as well. So I do enjoy the beginning and late of the movie. And although this isn't really the strongest of the Ghostbusters franchise, I still think this is entertaining enough where you can have fun with it. Again, one of those movies you can just turn your brain off and just have fun with some Ghostbusters. I think it still does its job of being an enjoyable movie enough. And I was actually really surprised how many people actually enjoyed it. I was in a pretty packed theater, and when the film ended, people started clapping and cheering, and I was like, this is the complete opposite from what I've been reading online of how people have been receiving this movie. People were actually excited and happy. I heard people laughing out loud. So the theater experience was pretty cool. Apart from one little negative in the theater experience, which I'll talk about later. But overall, I think people that I was around, at least in this movie theater, actually genuinely enjoyed it. So that was good to see, at least, that people were liking the movie. Now going into the cons for me, and just to kind of brush off what I just said right now about the theater experience, this has nothing to do with the movie itself, but a couple of times throughout the film, the audio would just cut out completely. Like, it was just dead silence in the movie. No audio. Like I said, nothing to do with the movie. I'm sure it was something that had to do with the projector or the speakers in the theater, whatever the case may be. I've never experienced this before, but I do think that was a pretty interesting thing going on. You know, it'll shut off the audio and you'll just hear people audibly in the theater just go, oh man. And I was worried that it was just going to be silent for the rest of the movie, but it didn't last that long. Every time it did, it lasted like 2 to 5 seconds or so. So it wasn't anything that was too crazy, but it's definitely something that you would have to mention. I do feel like this movie was a little unfocused on what it was trying to achieve. There was like 5 to 6 subplots going on at a single time. You know, you had Phoebe and this kind of ghost chick that she meets in the park while she's playing chess. And not to mention that they do a little kind of bait and switch on you where you think you're going to be seeing Spengler again playing chess at this park, but then there's this random chick pops up and they start kind of having a relationship that I don't really care about too much, to be honest. Whoever this person is, She has a purpose for being there, of course. There's a little twist with her, but I also don't like that the twist that they gave her was blatantly told to you. I wish they would have left you breadcrumbs and try to figure it out on your own, so that when the twist was actually revealed to everybody, it was a little bit more effective. When it's finally revealed, it's kind of more like, yeah, we already knew that as an audience. So it's always kind of, crappy when you are trying to figure out a twist on something and you already know before the characters in the actual movie know, and it just doesn't have that same effect. But apart from that twist, like I said, I just don't think the relationship between each other, them talking, giving each other their feelings, and talking about death and all that stuff, I never really found that too interesting. It just wasn't really compelling to me. And then you have the other subplot of the previous cast, the original cast of Ghostbusters, trying to make Ghostbusters to a bigger corporation, and making these bigger ghost traps and all this stuff, while the mayor's trying to take them down. So there's that little subplot as well that is a little bit more interesting, because you're seeing all this new technology that they've been building and these new facilities, all these ghost traps and ghost cells and all this kind of stuff. So that part is pretty neat, but that is another subplot that doesn't fully makes sense within the story. It doesn't really add to anything besides just being there. And then you have the subplot of Paul Rudd trying to kind of gain the acceptance of being a father figure to Phoebe. You have the whole like Spangler family subplot where they're trying to expand on being a Spangler, and being a Spangler is very important and it means something. They don't really delve too much into that besides saying like, yeah, I'm a Spangler, so I'm smart. I deserve to be a Ghostbuster. That's as far as it goes on that subplot. And not to mention that this movie felt like it was 4 hours long. This is barely a 2 hour long runtime, and this movie felt so long. There was a point where I thought we were already 2 hours in, the movie was about to finish, and we checked my phone, and we've only been there for like 45 minutes. Like, it felt so long. I don't know if it's because it was a little bit later night showing, so I was a little bit more tired, or whatever the case may be. But just that middle section just felt so long and so dragged out. The introduction of the main villain just took forever. So that's kind of one part where the pacing on this movie was just not it. And then they had this whole other cool kind of character of the fire master, and the fire master is the only thing that can destroy this demon, and whatever the case may be. And I thought that concept was very cool, but then they threw it all away with bringing someone that is just someone that wants to be a comedic relief. It's not funny at all. He doesn't take anything seriously. Like, it just throws everything out the water. And I think the comedy in this movie did not work for the majority. There were some times where I did actually have a genuine laugh, but the better chunk of the comedy in this movie did not work. The comedic relief that they were trying to do during tense moments just fell flat on his face. It didn't work. It took away the tenseness, and I wish it was more tense and a little bit more gritty, versus it trying to be more of a comedy first than a Ghostbusters movie. But overall, I think this movie did a good enough job. It's still entertaining enough to be a Ghostbusters movie. In terms of the Ghostbusters franchise, I really do think they should stop it here. I don't think they should go anywhere from here. There's not really much more they can do, especially because they made it very blatant that this evil that they're trying to fight was one of the strongest things they've ever had to take down before. So for them to go even beyond that might be a little unbelievable. Maybe just do one more to kind of wrap up this little trilogy. But I think this is kind of where the Ghostbusters should end, and we shouldn't really revisit this property in a very, very long time, and probably not until we want to remake it again. I think at this point, it's time to either get rid of the original cast, even get rid of this new cast and remake it, 10 years down the line, when Ghostbusters is going to be fresh again, or you just never revisit it again. That's kind of my opinion on it. But let me know what you guys thought about Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. I still enjoyed it enough. It's entertaining enough, but it just definitely wasn't what I expected. Let me know what you guys thought in the comment section down below. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. I'd love to hear all you guys' thoughts and have you guys join this Leo Nerd Talk family. And again, if you guys like talking about anything movies, TV shows, or video game related, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And I'll see you guys on the next review. Thank you.